Welcome to the 4th edition, Week 5 of the Star Sportscast. It's Candy Day! I'm Joe Catullo. Andrew Grimm. How you doing, Andrew?
Good.
Let's get that out of the way. Let's go to Trends. Trends. Sidney Crosby?
Yes, Sidney Crosby, the 2008 NHL Winter Classic.
Louis Isaac, former bullpen coach. If any Indian fan out there knows who Louis Isaac is, props to you. Andrew, ready to talk some, I almost said college, high school football?
Yes.
All right, let's go over last week. Last week, we start with, as always, Big Red, still number 1 in Division 4 polls this week. Defeated then number 7 Bournemouth 42-21. We weren't at that game, but, I mean, it's Big Red. It was 21-21 at halftime. Mike was actually at the game. He said Bournemouth looked really good in the first half, then something happened, and Big Red outscored him 21-0 in the second half to win.
It kind of sounds like when I went to Morgantown to cover Big Red. Honestly, they just wear you down the second half.
It's probably what they're going to do the rest of the season. Next game, and we'll go to Big Red at what we just talked about. God, that's stupid. Next game, Weir High. They lost for the first time this year. They lost to Kaiser 21-18. It came down the wire. According to Ralph Cox's article, Kaiser, I think, just made 1 or 2 more plays than Weir. You don't have to add anything. It's okay. Next game, Steubenville Central Catholic. Again, defense is a big problem for them. They lost to South Harrison 48-14. Game after that, Madonna stays perfect at 3-0. They defeated Bealsville 42-0. I'm going to go on a limb. Donovan Kirby, as of right now, might be the best player in our local area.
Yeah, he's putting up big numbers every week. Madonna's winning impressively every week.
Well, last week he had like 230-plus rushing yards. Or, sorry, 2 weeks ago he had that. This past week, I think 207 rushing yards and three or four touchdowns. I mean, we haven't seen him yet this year because all their games have been on the road, but stat-wise, he's been lights out. Next game. You were at this game. Insight time from Andrew Grimm. Indian Creek shuts out Buckeye Local 36-0. Go ahead, Mr. Grimm.
I will say that just having seen Buckeye Local play a couple times last year and then see them this year, they have come a long way. They still have a long way to go. Indian Creek was obviously right from the beginning the superior team in that game. Indian Creek shot themselves in the foot with turnovers early in the game, but once they cleaned that up, they really just started putting up big plays. And that's the thing I talked to Coach Connor about after the game, too, is so far this season they've been scoring methodically. They scored a lot of their points in that game on big plays, like 40, 50-yard-plus plays. And he was very happy to see that.
Okay, moving on. Brooke now 0-3, lost to Morgantown 35-6. You saw Morgantown in person against Big Red. Any surprise?
No, not really. I mean, they were impressive in the first half of the game with Big Red. They just got wore down in the second half. So, I mean, nothing against Brooke, but Brooke's not Big Red.
No, so, but Brooke's struggling. I mean, they lost 35-6. Morgantown did not throw a pass in that game. I think they had one pass play, if I remember the article correctly, but the quarterback got hurt right away. So they just ran the rest of the way, and that's how it ended up. Next game, I was at this game for a half. Toronto beat Southern Local 44-41. By the time I left, there was about a minute and a half in the first half, and Toronto was up 12-7. So what the heck happened after that? I know Toronto-wise, it was Nate Carafa who had 5 touchdowns. Or at least 5 rushing touchdowns. He might have 3 for 1, too.
It's a lot of points in the second half.
He is obviously the leader of that team. Good for him. Next game, Union Local defeats Harrison Central 36-18. Final game, Beaver Local not shut out. I thought they were going to shut out, but they didn't. Defeated Edison 33-6. Glen was on a bye. Moving forward to this week's games and our predictions. 0-4 Pittsburgh USO, however you say it, at Big Red 4-0. So number 1 Division 4. No surprise, we're both going with Big Red.
Absolutely.
Next game, Pittsburgh Perry at Brooke. We tried to research before this. We actually do some research. We still didn't find much on Pittsburgh Perry, though. I'm going with Brooke. You're going with Brooke, too.
Yeah, we're both going with Brooke to get win number 1 on the year.
We got to get it eventually, right?
Yeah, you would think.
Next game, Harrison Central at Martins Ferry. I got Martins Ferry.
I also went with the Purple Riders.
Next game, Indian Creek at St. Clairsville. Maybe kind of a toss-up. Both teams are 3-1, but we both believe that St. Clairsville is a tough squad, and we went with them.
Yep, they're playing at home too. I think that's a big help for them.
Union Local at Edison. No surprise from us. We both pick Union Local. I think they're like 3-1 or 4-0.
I think they're 3-1.
Either way, Edison's 0-4. Next game, Pendleton County at Madonna. We are both saying that Madonna will be 4-0.
Yeah,
like that?
Keep on rolling.
Am I blurry when I do this? In focus, blurry. In focus, blurry. Next game, you will be going to this. Toronto at Leetonia. The 2 years I worked in Lisbon, they never had a win through the first half of the year. I think they're 0-4 again this year, if I'm not mistaken. We both have Toronto winning that one.
I didn't get to see that high-powered offense Toronto's got.
Yeah, you're going to take photos too. Try to get someone that's not Nate Crawford if possible.
Okay.
Maybe try to get, who else they got? They got Jay Keenan.
Mm-hmm.
They have other running backs, I think, even though Carafa's doing most of the rushing. You excited to go to Leetonia?
Of course.
We'll see what you say on Saturday. Next game, Bel Air at Buckeye Local. We both pick Bel Air, I believe.
Yes.
Next game, this is a Saturday, according to Ralph Cox, a rare 4 p.m. start. Petersburg at Weir. We both got Weir going to 4-1. Although Petersburg, I believe, is, what do we say? Decent? I think they're 2-2.
I believe so, yeah.
Next game, Warren JFK at Catholic Central. I know Catholic Central is pretty tough at home, but Warren JFK is ranked in the top 10 in Division 7 polls. I believe number 7 currently. I got Warren JFK, and you do too.
Yeah, you don't get ranked by accident.
You never know. Final game. By the way, that Catholic Central game's on Saturday. The final game, which is also on Saturday, Warren Local at Oak Glen. Oak Glen struggling. They're only 1-3, but Warren Local's 0-4. The scores we looked at before the game, I think the closest game they were in was a 47-14 loss. So we're both going with Oak Glen.
And Oak Glen's at home.
Oak Glen's at home. Next game, UNLV at Ohio State. Kind of want to pick UNLV, but I just don't see that happening.
Buckeyes all the way.
Next game, West Virginia at Kansas. You pick West Virginia?
Yes, I did.
All right. Squealers at Bears. We both got the Squealers winning. Browns at Colts. You actually picked the Browns to win this week.
Yes, I actually picked the Browns to win. I heard on the radio that for the first time in a couple of years, they're actually favored to win a game. So,
is that the fan? 93.7?
That might have been one of the local channels.
Oh, the fan was a local channel.
Well, it's a Pittsburgh channel. I think there's a couple around here, too.
I'm not from here. I don't know. Please let me know if you guys find one. Thank you. Well, that's it for the predictions. Any last words? How much time do we have left, Mike?
That's about it. Wrap it up.
How much time do we have left?
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
2 more weeks of the baseball season. You still watching the Pirates?
No.
Mike, our producer, was at the game last night. He had chicken and lobster and brought us back 25-cent candies. That was the candy before the game. Thanks, Mike.
For free.
For free. Did I hit you?
Yeah, I got my
Okay.
shoulder. Oh, well.
Yeah, that does go for him.
Hit him with the candy, not me.
I did hit him in his big bald head of his. All right, I think that concludes it for the 4th edition of the Star Sportscast. Hope you join us next week. What was that?
I don't know.
Okay. And cut. I'm not gonna lie, I had a little trouble trying to rip it at first. the back was a little harder than I thought.
It was a struggle.
That'd have been a good outtake.
Bob knows up here.
I don't know, maybe I want to do this and do a little of this. Maybe
Well,
do a
you'll
little
be
of
in
this.
focus about one time.
Hey, this is the most exercise I'm getting this week. Just let me do it.
Start it off by sitting down.
Happy 1-year anniversary, Chris Jericho. You just made the list!